Animal Hierarchy, Part 7. The chicken and the gnat. I'm going to try to make this pretty short because it's not really that much to it, but it is. The chicken basically originated in Africa thousands of years ago. They found chicken bones in architectural digs going back thousands of years ago. So when I mean, obviously, when I found that out, um, the whole notion that black people like chicken. I mean, obviously, but you know, that misnomer is actually not as true as it might think because one thing about me is, I'll just look and observe. As far as like I can see, like I'll just say this, right? Okay, white people love chicken too. Okay, they love chicken probably more than black people because I remember, I work around a lot of white people a lot of times, and I go into predominantly white neighborhoods, quite a few of them. I remember back when I used to eat Popeyes on Tuesdays for the like. I don't know if they do that nationally, but they used, in the Midwest they'll do a Tuesday special, and I remember going in there when I was, really broke and just pretty much a hamster on the hamster wheel. Um, I remember going into Popeyes on Tuesday, and everybody in there just about was white, and they were sitting down and they were tearing their chicken off. So I sat down and I started eating just pretty much eat my little wing and a breast pretty much and go about my business. So I mean I've even seen I've went over people's house and I've seen white people with incubators in their kitchen growing chicks, so it's just okay. But that's not what I really am talking about. I mean, yeah, chicken can be very, very tasty, but also, it sometimes it gets boring to eat. But um, yeah, I had some chicken yesterday, but all that aside, when it relates to chicken and human behavior, uh, the chicken primarily would be the woman and man that as soon as you say something to them, you see this a lot on YouTube. You say something to them and they're clucking. They're rapid. They have a rapid response. They even in some YouTube channels I've seen where it's a woman on the panel and she's very defensive and she'll just cluck cluck cluck. She'll just keep like in rapid fire succession just say spew out all kind of like expletives or whatever towards whatever she doesn't like or her point or whatever counterpoints and everything, and she's just basically clucking like a chicken, like just cluck cluck cluck, saying this and saying that. Primarily, that behavior is derived from someone that is pretty much struggling with some mental issues. Maybe not so severe, but some type of form of low self-esteem. Even just maybe a lot of times people have been in high school, grammar school, they've gotten picked on, they've had people talk about them and stuff like that. So when they grow up, they can be very, very defensive. I used to, when before I knew about fashion and how to dress, and I got real tall and everything like that. Um, I used to get the dozens ragged on me, but when I got older, I got into high school. By the time my junior year, I was turning into the man. I mean, by the time I was a senior, I mean, I was the man on in the high school campus. Everybody knew me. All the staff knew me. Everybody, all my high school mates that I went to, pretty much went through 4 years with, they knew me. So it was like, I mean, a lot of things would pretty much kind of like pass off my shoulder. I'll just dust it off and it's no big deal. Whereas, some people have never gotten out of that. They never when it came out of high school like the woman or the man, or because I was a jock. I was, wasn't on the basketball team per se, as far as I started or dressed up, but I was, practicing. I would travel with the team. I was like in street clothes, but the high school I went to was one of the best high schools in the Chicagoland area. So, I mean, when my name got on the cut list as far as someone that made the second cut or whatever, and then I ultimately was able to practice, the coach let me, practice with the team, that was a pretty big deal. But I say all of that to say some people have went from freshman year all the way to senior year, and they've got ragged on and picked on. My ex-wife, she mentioned that she got picked on because one thing is that also people, a lot of students in grammar school and high school that's extremely poor, extremely in poverty, they don't have the money a lot of times to get clothes from their parents and stuff like that. So I remember my ex-wife telling me she'd go to school and she'd get picked on and stuff like that. Well, with me, I was just unaware of the fashions. I wasn't poor. I was unaware. As a freshman year, I was like, I had no clue as far as what to dress and how to dress. Actually, no homo, my sisters actually taught me. Actually, my younger sister, she's a Virgo as well, and that's one thing I didn't mention maybe on Virgo is that, Virgos know how to dress very, very well. And my sister, she told me basically, no, the broke jeans, you don't be buying bootleg clothes. That store, them guys selling bootlegs. You need to go to Macy's. Back then in the Chicago area, it was called Marshall Fields, and you need to buy these clothes and this clothes. And I later picked it up. So by the time our sophomore year, everything was name brand, everything was clicking, and it became a situation where it's like, oh, okay, they can't talk about my clothes. They tried to, but it's like, oh, okay, you figured it out. Well, it's some people that they couldn't even afford clothes. Okay, I mentioned, in previous videos about Isaiah Thomas and how he grew up. He had to wear his sister's clothes. Okay, and even Shannon Sharp mentioned that. But some people have, been so poor or even somewhat even clueless because they might have not had anyone to teach them anything or whatever. I mean, you see these type of basically examples in basically movies where it's like a high school teeny bopper movie where it's just a young kind of clueless girl or boy that does not know how to dress or any type of pickup game or pickup line to get women or anything like that. So they grow up and then they become very, very resentful, kind of low self-esteem, tend to judge others pretty harshly, as well as trying to mirror other people, and they may not be able to mirror them the way they want to, so they get down and they get really, really defensive. And I think a lot of people on YouTube, they come to YouTube for that. I myself, I'll have to admit, I kind of feel down every now and again about where my lot left in life, or as far as where my lot is in life compared to, maybe other people I know that are doing extremely well, or even if they're doing well and doing, rich dummy moves. What I mean by that is that they, using a whole bunch of credit to ball. I mean, I still am like, okay, wow, okay. But the thing is that, yeah, some people are very, very rapid fire. They're clucking. Everything that you say to them, they got to cluck back for it. It's like, instead of just kind of pausing and trying to figure out, for example, like I was on somebody's platform and then they were, kind of clucking at me or whatever, and kind of in their fifis or feelings or whatever, and I was like, okay, well, are you all right, or what's going on? And it's like, the conversation could have went left and right and all the way in between, but it was like basically I realized, first of all, my vulnerabilities. I didn't come off like, I'm better than you, blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, I don't really know what's going on, because with other men, it's like, it's very easy for me to do this, because with other men, it's nothing, nothing, no homo. So it's like, I really don't care if you like me or you don't, but I'll come off like I'll come up off my high horse to try to basically counter what you're saying, to say, I don't really know what's going on with you, dude. I don't know you. I can't really read you, and I don't really know what's involved. I just, I have no ill intentions, and this it is what it is, and I truly mean that. But some people, like I say, men and women, they just are very, very responsive. And it also goes into, I have to go into like Elijah Muhammad's How to Eat to Live, because to be honest, a lot of us take on characteristics from the food we eat. So you do, if you eating a lot of chicken, yeah, you're going to start acting and behaving like a chicken. It might be like, what the fuck is he talking about? But I am dead serious. This is real. You do take on, you eat the proteins and the, meat of food, and you actually take on the characteristics and traits and all kind of other stuff. I'm not bullshitting. It's no tinfoil hat type stuff. I mean, it might be, but even still, if it's some people that I make ultimately this video to be vegans, vegetarians, I mean, so be it. I mean, I'm actually trying to transition to that, but I still currently kind of eat meat every now and again. I don't eat meat as much. My meat intake has dropped significantly. At one time I was kind of doing pescatarian diets, which, I really don't really even have to eat that. I don't even have to eat fish and everything, but I'm just saying basically that, yeah, eating chicken can cause you to mimic certain behaviors of a chicken. I really strongly do believe that. And you can if you can read How to Eat to Live, it's available all over, and very good book. And because a lot of people that are in 5% of Nation Islam, they are vegetarian, because they do know a lot of why the negative aspects of eating raw meat and all of that, and eating actual cooked meat. So yeah, but like I say, I mean, particularly women that act like that, it's not so much just that eat chicken or men eat chicken, but I think it does have some correlation to it. Yet also, these people are very, they struggle from low self-esteem. They struggle from childhood in pre-adolescence and post-adolescence, uh, problems with socially interacting with people and fitting in. So, they get older, they very, very defensive. And then also people go through stuff, like the individual I was going back and forth with, he said he was going through some stuff when I pretty much told him, I'm like, I really don't know what's going on, dude, but it is. I don't have no ill intentions because see, here's the thing. I mean, I've been in the military. I'm actually a war veteran. I mean, I was in 9/11 on board a USS carrier. So the pressure that I'm able to handle is very, very different than somebody else's. So I can handle quite a bit of pressure. And then also, uh, I've been in situations where, I've lost my job, I didn't have any money, my car failed, so I didn't have no car, I lost my car. Now I've been walking around. It's times in my life that I've walked around and I had no money in my pocket, and I had no car or nothing, right? And it's been times, man. It's been that freaking bad, man. Believe it or not. Um, a lot of people may have the fortunate luxury of never really having to deal with that other than being probably a kid. But yeah, people go through stuff and then they're, reactionary with that, So it's always good to ask people, what's going on with you, sis, what's going on with you, bro? I mean, what's the problem? Because obviously, you seem a little different today or whatever. But yeah, I mean, people, tending to cluck like that and very, very responsive. It's behaviors of a chicken. So I'm gonna talk about more about me and behavior as well too, because a lot of the reason why a lot of women are so masculine, I do believe is to deal with the diet, the high, you know, um, animal protein diet, basically. So that's a little freaking gem, you know, right there. So I mean, take it for what it's worth. But anyway, moving on to the Nats. The Nats basically is basically where it correlates with people. I mean, I'll just talk about the gnat per se. It's primarily the fruit fly. One thing about fruit flies is they'll eat anything. Okay, a lot of people, they have a high tolerance for insects in their house, and they'll have gnats in their house. And gnats don't go away unless you kill them. So you can have people that you probably walked in somebody's house and you see a gnat infestation. Well, that's because nobody did anything. No, the person didn't spray anything. It's people that are very, very trifling like that. You know, I have a high level of confidence because I understand people have a lot of problems and it's a lot of potential for profit for that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, that's another little secret that I'll give you as far as what I think about, things and people and stuff like that. But the thing is that when it relates to actual people, and as far as gnats is concerned, so if I say they eat anything, pretty much you are included with that. I mean, gnats will literally eat on your ass. If you don't get rid of them, they'll come in your bedroom and try to chew on your head, chew on your skin, chew on any parts of your body. So they're freaking annoying. And you guys, if you have tolerance for these gnats, man, you putting your children, yourself, and your, anybody, even your pets, to, basically in harm's way. And these things, who knows what type of parasites they have or whatnot. Shit. Another thing is that these, the gnats per se, basically, they do come out of fruit. Actually, if you leave fruit out, this is crazy, right? I really don't know how they do it, But like for example, if you leave a banana out, that banana actually it's fruit fly eggs somewhere in the banana, and somehow or another they come out of the banana, and next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of fruit flies. So you literally, when it comes to fruit, you have to. I would recommend putting them in the freezer. I mean, not freezer, but refrigerator, instead of putting them out in like on the table and crap like that. Especially in the summertime. In the summertime, you might as well forget it. If you got fruit on the table in the summertime and you know a little bit before summertime, man, you ain't doing nothing but pretty much inviting, having a gnat party, pretty much. I mean, you leaving fruit out, having a little old grandma fruit basket out with all these fruits in there. You ain't doing nothing but just being pretty much inviting a party full of gnats. So yeah, I mean, that being said, okay, moving along to people, very simply, a gnat is a person who's just constantly in your face, just yapping off, not saying anything. I mean, just freaking annoying. And then also will just try to like, their purposes of doing that actually is to annoy you. So they probably could like, I don't know, pickpocket you or something. I mean, that's a gnat. I mean, but basically like just somebody that like is on the street just rambling off and then asking for spare change, you know. I mean, you know, that you know, just I'm not talking about somebody that just down on their luck, but they like, you know, just rambling off to you for no reason other than that you look like they just see a dollar sign in front of them, you know, and that's it. Like a lot of times you see these types of people when you're out in public, like on when you're taking a public transportation. A lot of times you run into people that behave like gnats. Like even they'll even drain your spirit. Like I mean, you kill your vibe. Like I'm from Chicago, so I've took public transportation, and all of a sudden you just be sitting there, you know, reading a Kindle or whatever, and then somebody comes talking about, hey, everybody is going to hell. You better repent. And you like, everybody's looking up, and it's like, what the hell is going on? What's wrong with this person? And where's his medication? I mean, and it's like you just sitting there trying to, you know, deal with yourself. And then, I mean, I kid you not, man. A lot of people, if you listen to this in Nebraska and crap like that, Omaha, Nebraska, and Oklahoma, I don't know, places where there's no public transportation, such as like no train or nothing like that. You don't even have to you don't even have to see this type of stuff usually. I mean, I literally just imagine you're on a public train, and this happens literally every day because a lot of times people are homeless, people are substance abusers, you know, very mentally ill. They have nowhere else to go but the train. That's just where they are, you know. And yeah, you sitting on the train, and then some woman just randomly gives her story about how she got AIDS. And, you know, you're like, damn, I mean, I was just about to have my breakfast, and it's like, my breakfast, I don't even, you know what? I don't even want breakfast. As soon as I get in the office, I'm just going to have me some coffee, and then I'm going to call it a day. Because, I mean, it's just killed the hell out of me. Because I'm like, I mean, I appreciate the sermon, but to remind me, yeah, there is still AIDS out there, but I didn't want to hear what you got to say right now. I mean, you just giving me content, you know, just spewing out your mouth, and it's no filters. Like you didn't even give me a chance to skip the video, nothing. I mean, you just saying anything. So yeah, I mean, that's primarily a gnat, but then you also have another version of a gnat. And it's not so much someone that's mentally ill or any of the sort, right? It's just somebody that's just a random person. It could be someone you actually even work with. I mean, some people could probably even say I'm a gnat. I just say all kind of stuff, and then you don't It doesn't, float your boat to find your lost remote. And it's like, all right, skip. You know, but the thing is, it could be just like someone you actually work with. They ain't necessarily got no problems where it's like they're on drugs or anything. Just some people primarily are. They don't have any friends. Okay, I'll say it right. They don't really have any physical friends. They literally don't have any physical friends, man. They're just in a state where all their friends, man, are somewhere else basically, and they just kind of the whole song "Mr. Lonely," by Akon, and they just don't want to talk to you that day, and you ain't thinking about talking to nobody because you got a chick at home, you probably got a side chick, and then your homies are always calling you for advice or calling you to come have drinks or go to the game party or whatever, viewing party, and all of this type of stuff. And it's like, you don't really have any problems with being social. Your social circle is great, right? So you don't have the need to start spewing out random talking points to Bob in accounting, because you pretty talked out. You done talked to about 4 or 5 or 6 people within the span of 24 hours. And one of those persons including your wife, and you also are getting laid. Well, Tom in accounting, he's not getting laid. He's just talking random talking points, going home and probably doing, just about everything from going on YouTube and going on all the social media platforms and, OnlyFans, and seeing what his, favorite OnlyFans chick is doing that day. And maybe he might have not rubbed one off in a while. And then, or even if he did, he just, saw you and you, cool guy, and he just yabbity yab yabby yabby yab 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 yab. That is also a knack, okay? It just someone is just, people that also, I'll even go further down the rabbit hole just a little bit, just drop the rabbit down in the hole. A lot of people also that do this, they don't have a therapist. They're trying to talk to you to give them some self-therapy. You hear these people even on YouTube. These people will go. I was watching Tommy Sotomayor, and this is where I kind of got the inspiration for it, because I was like, at first I'm like, okay, because he's like beefing with some like fat chicks on YouTube. So it's funny as hell. It's the most entertaining comedic presentations of YouTube content creators or whatever channels that I've seen in a long time. I mean, it's just very, very entertaining. Basically ignorant, NIGG, stuff, man. Basically, that's what it is. But it's very, very entertaining. And at first I was like, obviously, yeah, they're two hyenas, but it's even deeper than that. They're not just hyenas; they're actually chickens. And it's like, wow, yeah, it hit me after a while. I was like, yeah, these are chickens, and that's why I was talking about it. These particular types is constantly just talking, yapping about different points and stuff like that. It absolutely has no relevance, right? Yeah, it's very, very much similar. But the gnat is just more annoying, because one thing that's different about those two particular fat chicks that's beefing with Tommy at the moment, they're not necessarily gnats, and I'll explain why. Why they're just chickens. And actually, chickens actually eat gnats. In case you little brainiacs thought I forgot that. But anyway, the chicken will only cluck when you respond to it. Okay, not necessarily literally, no, not the chickens don't cluck regardless, but as far as uh, what I refer to as far as men and women being chickens, those are particularly type that are, they're annoying too, but they only respond if you respond to them. If you don't ever say anything to them, they'll never really say anything to you. They'll even try to talk to you and then try to maybe spin an argument if it goes that way. But if you don't say anything, you cool with them, they're not gonna say nothing to you, and it gonna leave you alone. But a gnat, this is the type of person that you'll be in line at Walmart and he wants to talk about everything about what you got in your cart, what his daughter has in her cart, what she bought last week, what he ate for, dinner, what he's going through at work while he's in a line with you. That is a gnat because he's unprovoked. You didn't ask for anything. He just started talking about, the Bears game next day. And you don't know his name. You ain't never went to school with him. He ain't know you from a can of paint. And he just all of a sudden, start talking to you, and these gnats are very, yeah, Eminem actually made a song called Nat. That's another reason why I actually came up with this topic. But it actually is just very important because, yeah, it's a freaking pandemic. Talking should really be a minimal in public because, yeah, it's like the more you kind of talk, it's like, it's kind of risky, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're around people in public that you don't necessarily, they're not around you like that, and they definitely, not in your particular inner circle where it's people that you already know, okay, this person, I live with them, they all right, we all right, okay, cool. But you just a random person talking in public, that is not really popping right now. That's not recommended right now in COVID-19, aka coronavirus bill. 2020, the most horrible year in probably all of the years combined or something. I don't know. But the thing is that, yeah, these gnats are very, 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 very annoying. And it's women that do this, it's men that do this. Who does it more? You know what? It's a toss up. I've had men talk to me randomly. I've had women talk to me randomly like this. And of course, we all know the wino or the bum that rambles on and rambles on, unprovoked, just does it just off of a whim, with no cue card. That's an act, now like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell me if I'm on point, if I'm on point, hit the cash app, let me know that these videos are helping you.